Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Travel Mile broadcast. And this morning, I'm delighted to have Alison Cryer, MBE, freshly anointed in the King's Honours List just recently for her services to travel and tourism. So good morning, ma'am, and welcome to this Travel Mile broadcast.
Thank you, Graham. It's lovely to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
No problem. Alison, we spoke a little while ago about some of the things that have been going on in the travel industry in the last 10, 15, 20 years, really, since we've both been involved in it for a long time. And at no point has travel and tourism really become a really important agenda item in cabinet matters, in government matters. And I know you wrote an article recently on LinkedIn that expressed some of those attitudes. Perhaps you can give me your perspective on it at this stage.
Yes, thank you. Well, the reason I wrote the article was I was a little bit disappointed in the reshuffle recently of the Department of Culture, Media and Sport and the new Department of Business and Trade. Optimistically, I had hoped that the title Department of Culture, Media and Sport might for once include tourism, as there have been many, many organisations and individuals lobbying for that. And even more optimistically, I'd hoped that we had maybe moved into business and trade, which would make, and as it's international trade in particular, make more sense, I believe, to me. However, neither of those happened, and tourism is not even in the vision, the new vision of the government's Department of Media and Trade. And I had a search online, and when you put the word tourism in, nothing comes up. The fact that the industry is worth £150 billion to local communities, it actually generates £31 billion of exports through inbound travel. It gives 3.4 million people in the country jobs, and that's within 300,000 businesses. I feel that that is quite a substantial size business and industry for us to have a voice, and therefore the fact that over the last 30 years we still have not got a voice is just extremely disappointing.
I think all the stats show it. Anybody in the industry knows about it. We all obviously are passionate about it, but what can we do about it? I mean, you're a representative in many associations, and it's one of the reasons you've just been given the MBE, I'm assuming. But what have we done about it? I mean, for example, we've had the Tourism Alliance, which was supposedly this coming together of all these big organisations, one voice, one industry and all that. But on this particular matter, it's achieved absolutely zero. In fact, if you could argue that we've gone backwards.
Yes, well, first of all, just clarify that I am here talking on my own behalf and not on behalf of any of the organisations that I do work for or work with, in particular the Tourism Alliance. Tourism Alliance and Visit Britain and ATO and ABTA and individually and together collaboratively have made a big effort to explain to not only civil service but also the government in general about the importance of the industry. It's not for a want of trying, and for whatever reason we seem to keep coming across closed ears or no real enthusiasm or engagement from the government. So what should we do about this? You say that lots of people, everyone in the industry understands the facts and figures. Do they really? Does everybody in the industry, the leaders in the industry perhaps understand the impact and importance of the industry, but does everybody all the way down from the top to the bottom? And the ecosystem of the tourism industry is vast. It reaches, the tentacles reach various different aspects of people's lives, whether it's accountants or whether it's the receptionist in a hotel or a barman or a manager in a retail shop. Everybody is involved in tourism, but I don't think we've done a good enough job of actually getting that message across to the individuals in the country, the public and the voters. So my thought process is that we should come together as an industry, as you quite rightly say, continue to be together as an industry, but take the positive side and really get the message out that we are a force to be reckoned with because of what we represent. And coming up to the elections, this is a good time to do it, either with the opposition, current opposition, or with the current government. And rather than saying we need VAT reduced or we need visas for the students to be able to come back and to gain back that sector, which is a big loss to a lot of seaside resorts at the moment. Take the positive side and really give the industry such a big reputation for its value to the economy that the government cannot ignore us. So take it from a different way.
Do you think that that one of the aspects of our industry is that we are very conservative with a small c, and in fact, I think I've mentioned it to you before and to many people, that if we were in the agricultural business, for example, if we were French farmers, we would have surrounded Heathrow by now by London cabs and made a protest to make sure people do understand. And during COVID, I think people realised the importance of not only the economy, but also from the social and mental health of people to go away, to have breaks, to have holidays and so on. So there's so many aspects, including the economic multiplier effect of tourism in the economy. But do you not think that we should be perhaps more radical in the way that we put these ideas? At the moment, all we do is whisper in the corridors of power in Westminster to civil servants. We're not demonstrative in any way.
You're right. First of all, France is very unique in its way of expressing itself, and I know what you're saying about that. But we should be demonstrative. I don't think being demonstrative insofar as we're going out and disrupting people's travel would work, because that tends to put people off. When you think about, we are small and conservative. We are disparate. Our industry is full of small entrepreneurs that are so busy they don't even have the time to think about how important tourism is to the economy. They're just trying to keep their livelihoods going and keep their businesses going. And we are made up of small businesses and entrepreneurs. So I think people don't necessarily have the time, let alone the energy to rally around. But that's where the leaders and the big companies, the TUIs, the big organizations in the industry should help, and they should come out more strongly with a voice saying, well, if you don't appreciate the industry and you don't appreciate what we're giving to the economy now, because of digitalization, because of the way the world has changed since COVID, we can go and set up our business, and some of them have already, anywhere outside of the UK that we wish to, and we will be paying our taxes in a different country, and you will be getting less of our revenue. And I think if you're putting that position to government, and government are realizing that there is a potential loss in revenue, they may take it more seriously.
What about the involvement of the airlines? Again, during COVID, we had this almost pathetic effort at Westminster to bring the attention to the government of what damage the ban on travel was doing. And we had British Airways and we had Virgin Atlantic there with bus stop tours and all sorts of things going on. But they seem to have gone very, very quiet now that the airlines and the aircraft are full and the pounds and dollars are rolling back in. Do they play a big enough role? I mean, if we got a Richard Branson or a Willie Walsh or a Michael O'Leary involved, I'm sure they would bring it to the attention of the public and indeed government.
Absolutely, and the airlines are crucial. And again, you're quite right, they have gone very quiet. I think they're turning at about 80% capacity at the moment. They're not necessarily full, but they have got the aircraft out there. And it's the low-cost carriers as much as the scheduled carriers that would make a real difference to our voice. It is bringing all these people together. And if you look at the different associations that are lobbying, you have ABTA, which is travel agents, tour operators. You have ATA, which is very small tour operators. Then you have the Tourism Alliance, but the airlines are not necessarily. That is a group of associations, and they are there on behalf of their members. But as you quite rightly say, we need the movers. We need the movers and the shakers, the brand names out there saying that this is an important industry. And as we have elections coming up in the foreseeable future, if we can get the consumers and the public to understand the impact of tourism and understand how important it is to look after it, and these celebrity figures who are well known for their contribution to the industry to come out and speak with that one voice, then hopefully the public will look at the manifestos, or we can point out to the public which manifestos are taking tourism seriously and which aren't.
Good. Well, Alison, thank you very much for chatting. I appreciate your time, and I wish you and all the other people in the industry, including ourselves for that matter, we were more than happy to publicise any efforts and support any efforts to get a bigger voice at government. So thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate it. And once again, congratulations on your honour.
Thank you so much, Graham. And yes, let's campaign together to get our voice out there. Thank you.
Thank you.